Right now, I think on our hearts, and Tomeeka really, this is weighing heavy on her, and I feel really bad. Um, the Brandon Bernard situation that's going down, I guess, like any minute. Mm-hmm. The young man was an accessory to a murder, accomplished, whatever you say. He did not pull the trigger that killed the two individuals, but he was guilty by association and being there. And from what we did our little research, in 1999, he was Brandon was a part of this gang called the Pyru 212 Pyru gang, whatever, in Texas. And they
went to Texas or Indiana?
Texas.
Okay, so he's in Indiana. Yes. Though. Okay, so they shipped him to Indiana.
Yeah. So the crime was committed, and it was, I guess, supposed to be a robbery. Whatever it was, he was there. He did not pull the trigger, but he did assist with putting the body in the car, and then they burnt the car. So a lot of people feel like it's a very harsh sentence to give him, like the death penalty, because he didn't actually pull the trigger, but he is accused of burning the car. So put the bodies in there. So Tomeeka and I have been going back and forth. I feel, and then I'll let Tomeeka tell you her point of view. My point of view is, I hate that he was there. But okay, let's start with, he was a member of this gang. Okay, he's 18. He's a member of this gang. They do this thing. He's not the one that pulls the trigger, but he assists in burning the car. That's where it went left for me.
It did go left.
Because I did not know that part. So he is just as guilty. In my opinion, I'm not a juror, I'm not an attorney, I don't know the law, but I feel like he is just as guilty because he did help with burning the car. Then I was talking to Tomeeka, I was like, well, if you get shot, sometimes, I watch Dexter, I watch a lot of stuff. I watch a lot of TV. Some people get shot up. You just never know people's makeup. Like 50 Cent been shot like 8 or 9 times. Like, you can get shot. You can lay there. You can be unconscious and people walk away like, yeah, I did that. They're dead. And you're not dead, but they shot him in the head. So I'm going to say that they were dead because they got shot in the head, and then they lit the car on fire. That's where I feel like he is the word complicit, guilty, because he did take part in that, of trying to get rid of the evidence. So whatever the jurors came up with, I agree. He is guilty. We know that, but I don't think he deserves to be have a death penalty. I don't think that he should die from the death penalty.
I think that he's been locked up for over 20 years, 23 hours on lockdown, an hour a day without it. He's been a model prisoner. We giving him extra days on this.
What happened?
12-3.
Oh.
So for me, I just do not believe in a death penalty. I mean, I think it's always, when you think about, especially for black guys, I'm not even worried about black and brown. People will put that brown on something in a minute. I just feel like too many of us get the short end of the stick with that. I think that if people went as hard for Black lives, period, that they go for, if they treated pro-life like a life, period. And I know people will bring up the point, what if it was your family? That's not going to bring my family member back, killing someone. And if I say I'm against someone killing my family, I feel like for me, and the heart that I have for people in life, that I'm against you taking that murderer's life. Let that murderer live the rest of his life knowing that he did something to my loved one. You know what I'm saying? Agree. Sit with that.
Yes.
Sit with that. I think that death is just far too short. And when you think about all the circumstances that even makes people go and murder or take a life for whatever reason, whether it's They wasn't raised properly.
Mhm.
They had to join a gang for some solidarity. They had to, whatever the case may be. When you think about usually who are these people that's taking someone's life that
Right.
it's not your life to take, it's always something that, not that I can understand or I can empathize, but I understand like, oh, this kid never ever had a chance. So how is putting him to death okay?
Right.
He didn't have, he didn't have a chance. It's so many things that white people do on a daily basis that's the same thing, and they will never get put to death.
Right. That I agree.
Breonna Taylor.
Right.
Those officers never got charged with her murder. Period. Simply because they're officers, simply because they're white officers.
Right.
If they were black officers doing the same thing, it would have been something different. So because our justice system for black men, specifically in this country, I'm just not for the death penalty because I think it always messes up them more than anybody. I think that if little Bobby goes and kill his mother and sister and maybe 3 or 4 members of his family, he will be just put on death row. But if a black kid does something to 2 white people,